Hello and welcome to 5 transfers you've missed this summer. Now, I know it's been a while, we haven't uploaded on the YouTube channel for a couple of months now, I think, but just had exams, it's the summer now, got a bit more time, so hopefully videos will be coming out thick and fast as per usual. But for today, I'm going to be going through 5 transfers you might have missed this summer. Now, the first player is Julio Enciso. He has just signed for Brighton for £9.5 million from club Libertad Asuncion. Now, at the time of recording this, he is their only signing at the moment. Obviously, Brighton did let go of Yves Bissouma this summer as well to Tottenham for £30 million. They're making decent profit on players, you know. Ben White last year as well. But this guy, Enciso, he's 18 years old and he scored 11 goals and got 3 assists last season in 14 games. He's Paraguay, so he was playing in the Paraguay division. He's a centre forward, second striker kind of thing. Very young, 2004. Got a lot of time left to develop really. But, you know, Brighton, they've been needing a striker. They need someone like that, someone who's going to contribute to more goals for them. Because although they didn't do too badly last season, in terms of goals, they weren't right at the bottom, but they did have the 5th least in the league. Maupay got 9, I think Trossard got 8, and Welbeck got 6 as well. So there's goals coming from a few players, but Brighton have always lacked that key talisman that would really propel them up the league. They have obviously had their best season ever last year, but they want to take that to another level. And a youngster like this looks really promising. I know you can't base everything off the price tag, but you know, there's a reason they've paid nearly £10 million for him, which is a decent amount of money for someone coming from a division like Paraguay's. So, yeah, I think it looks like a decent signing. I don't know loads about him, but it looks quite exciting for Brighton fans and someone who can add to their attack. Now, next up is Tyler Adams. You might have heard of him. He's just signed for Leeds for 20 million. Well, hopefully you haven't heard of him. Anyway, he's come from RB Leipzig. He's 23 years old and he has worked with Jesse Marsch, the new Leeds manager, when they were at New York Red Bulls together, obviously both American. Leeds have just sold Calvin Phillips to Man City for about £50 million. Tyler Adams is a central defensive midfielder like Calvin Phillips. He's quite versatile too, so definitely their opportunity to replace Phillips. Whether he can fill such a big hole, it is unsure at the moment, but it's not a bad step in the right direction. Adams, he did get RB Leipzig to a semi-final, not solely by himself, but he was part of that RB Leipzig team that played in the semi-finals. The fact that Adams is their 5th signing already this window shows that Leeds are definitely recognising something needs to change. Personally, when Bielsa got sacked, I didn't think it was the right decision. But right now, they've realised that we aren't far from falling off here and staying in the Championship for God knows how long like they did before. We need to make a mark, we need to get new players in, we need to replenish our squad. And I do respect that, and it looks like they're backing Jesse Marsch, which I also respect as well. You know, they finished 17th last season, and they definitely need to change it. Another player you might have missed is Seb Haller. I know the former West Ham man didn't do too well, but he's just signed for Borussia Dortmund for £30 million from Ajax. I don't know if you remember also, but Seb Haller actually broke onto the scene initially at Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. He struck up a really good partnership with Luka Jovic in the 18-19 season, I'm pretty sure, and they were really impressive together. That's what actually earned his move to West Ham. but that obviously didn't go too well. He ended up only scoring 10 Premier League goals for the Hammers. In the winter transfer window as well, I think a season and a half later, he then moved to Ajax, you know. West Ham were doing really well at the time. Antonio was the main man, and they were just firing on all cylinders, and Seb Haller wasn't really part of the picture anymore. Also with Ajax as well, they just signed him. I think he was their most expensive signing ever at the time, or for a while anyway. When he then got to play in the UCL the season after, he finished the third highest UCL goal scorer last season. He ended up getting 11 goals in only 8 games. Now, Ajax didn't do too well overall in the competition, but he certainly did. He got more goals than Ronaldo, Salah and Mbappe. Last season as well, he actually got the Golden Boot in the Eredivisie. He scored 21 goals and assisted 7 in 31 league games, which is brilliant. And although that is a league that isn't looked as the same as like a Premier League or one of the top 5 leagues, it's still a competitive league, and he's done really well to re-establish himself. You know, he smashed it basically. And with Dortmund just getting rid of Haaland, they're looking to rebuild their squad. You know, Bayern, they've just won their 10th Bundesliga in a row. They need to start to make their mark, and I think Haller is a good signing for them at the moment. He's a decent striker. He kind of fits the same mould as Haaland. Obviously, he's not going to be as good. He's probably not going to be as athletic, but he scored a lot of goals last season, and I don't think it's a bad signing at all for only £13 million. Now, it only makes sense for our next player to be Seb Haller's former duo partner at Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. That was Luka Jovic. So he's just moved to Fiorentina from Real Madrid on a free transfer. He was part of that duo, obviously, with Haller. Frankfurt initially signed him for £20 million from Benfica back in the day, and he then went on to score 17 Bundesliga goals in that 18-19 season, and he was incredible. He also got 10 goals in the Europa League, and he was just outstanding. He looked fierce. I remember in one game he scored 5 goals, I'm pretty sure, and he was just phenomenal, and he looked really technically brilliant. And at a time when, you know, Ronaldo had just left Real Madrid for Juventus, it looked like Real Madrid, when they signed him from Frankfurt, had just added a great player to their ranks. Obviously, Haller and Luka Jovic, it turned out when they both moved away, it didn't go too well for either of them. It went worse for Jovic than it did Haller at West Ham. Obviously, Jovic has just won a Champions League, technically, and he won a few Ligas whilst he was at Real Madrid. But with Benzema now firing on all cylinders, he never really had a chance to get into that team, to get into that system and make his mark. He only ever scored 3 goals for Real Madrid, ever, in his whole time there. He moved there for £18 million, and, well, let's be honest, he wasn't even worth that. He then got loaned back during his time at Real Madrid, he got loaned back to Frankfurt, and everyone was really excited for it. I'm pretty sure he scored 2 goals in his return debut for Frankfurt, but he only ever scored 2 more goals after that. He ended 18 Bundesliga games with 4 goals. He tried his luck at Madrid again, but obviously couldn't get there. Now he's got a big chance at Fiorentina. Now, Fiorentina have just lost Vlahovic to Juventus, so they're in need of someone new. They've got a decent team as well. Obviously, Lucas Torreira was part of that team last season, but they've got a couple of other good players. Maybe Luka Jovic can find his feet there. Obviously, I'm not sure. They finished 7th in Serie A last season, but they'll be in the Europa Conference League next year, which could be a really good chance for Jovic to re-announce himself, really, and hopefully he does really well there, because he was great to watch at Frankfurt back in the day. We are down to our final player. I hope you've enjoyed the different sceneries for this video. I tried to do something a little bit different, and I just want to build on it from the future, really, and just take this video as kind of like an experiment and keep working with it, and you know, just changing how I make the videos. But anyway, last player of a transfer that you definitely haven't noticed is Pepe Reina. He's just moved from Lazio to Villarreal. Obviously, Unai Emery just signed him. I think he's about to be 40, Pepe Reina. He's definitely 39 now. He's going to be 40 in August, I believe. But yeah, I think he is going to be the backup to Rulli in goal. Was at Real Sociedad before. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just, but definitely one that no one really thought about. Villarreal was his club before he initially moved to Liverpool in 2005. So you know, it's a nice move for him. Maybe the last of his career, who knows? But anyway, that has been 5 transfers you've missed so far. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.